Well, the Cyberpunk 2077 launch disaster continues, and this is probably going to be the biggest surprise of 2020 in terms of I really did not expect this to happen. Like, I heard people joke every once in a while in the past about CDPR. They're going to eventually tarnish the reputation, do something anti-consumer, and well, the Cyberpunk 2077 launched. Continues, and this is probably going to be the biggest surprise of 2020 in terms of I really did not expect this to happen. Like, I heard people joke every once in a while in the past about CD.
Yeah, I just read some shit, bro. They said they pulled goddamn Cyberpunk from the PlayStation Store. Yeah, they said they pulled Cyberpunk and they're offering a refund for that shit. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to hurry up and beat the main quest line and then get my money back. Y'all giving out refunds? Yeah, let me get my money back then. Thanks for letting me play for free. Thanks for letting me play for free. But I don't know, is it that bad? Is Cyberpunk that bad where they're giving refunds? That seems pretty drastic. Yeah. They gotta give out refunds for that junk. Up with the no name. Yo, big ass buds in this one. One thing. Shit ain't got no name, yo. Smoking on that flame. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like I've been slow rolling that shit, yo. I've been slow rolling it, yo. I am to the point where, well, first I stopped doing the main quest, right, and started doing a bunch of side missions. And then after I did, a good handful of side missions, I was like, fuck it, I'll go jump back into the main quest for a little while. So I did the next mission that would come up in the main quest line, and it was like, damn, boy, I be smoking in this bitch, bro. Yo, I got a message like from the main quest line. It said, once you start this mission, it will lock you out of all other side quests and gigs until a certain part of the game. I was like, damn. So once I get here, I can't leave and roam around the city and do like little other jobs and shit. I was like, cool, but let me do some more side missions first before I get to that point. So I kept running around doing a bunch of side quests, like little missions, doing a bunch of stuff for Johnny Silverhand, and now I'm to a point where even the side missions bring you back to the main storyline. So it's like, I like how they tied it in together, yo. True. Because I almost clicked on that shit. I was like, nah. Don't want to do that yet. But now I done did so many side missions, it's making me go back to the main quest line. I did some shit with Johnny, and now it's like, oh, do this mission. I'm like, okay, that's That's that mission that's going to stop me from doing everything else. But it doesn't matter now because I've already done like 90% of the fucking side quests. And then I was just walking around the city, yo. I seen this one, this burger joint. It's called Burger or whatever. But it's just like a little burger restaurant in the game. And I noticed I'm walking down the street and I'm like, yo, that burger restaurant looks like you can go inside of it. So I walk inside the little restaurant, look around, and then I go up to the counter and see what they're selling and shit. And as soon as I start talking to the guy behind the counter, like a cutscene comes in, and three NPCs run into the burger joint and hold this motherfucker up at gunpoint. I'm like, that's so cool, yo. Just like a random encounter like that that has nothing to do with the quest. It's not even like it wasn't even like a real side mission. It's just some shit that fucking happens. If you go into if you go in this burger joint and talk to the guy, and then it turns into like this robbery type scene. But I could have like fucked the robbers up, but I just talked them down and shit. Like, yo, this ain't even your neighborhood. Y'all over here trying to rob stores in somebody else's neighborhood, yo. If the local gang finds out about this, you guys are gonna be fucked. And they got spooked and ran the fuck off. But yeah, Cyberpunk being taken down from the PlayStation Store is crazy. All right, it might not be enough. Might have to grind up a little bit more. You know, grind up a little bit more. Oh yeah, probably be here for a couple hours and then go play some more Cyberpunk until I feel like I'm ready to get my refund. Yeah, but PT was only like a little small snippet preview of what could be. I don't even know why they put that PT out, yo. That shit was weird. You know what I'm saying? That shit was really weird. And then nothing at all from that thing. You know, with this project right here, I mean, I don't think they can just leave it behind right now. It would be some shit, you know, if they took it down, shelved it for a year or so maybe until they feel like it can run on the next gen hardware the way they want it to. Because everybody's saying like if it's not on PC, you got issues. Even the PS5 has some bugs. The PS4 Pro, it's you know it's okay, and the regular PS4 is just like it's barely playable on that shit. So PC is the way to go for this game, and so I wouldn't doubt if they just shelved it for a year or so, brought it back out like holiday season 2021 or January 2022, and put it out as the remastered something something whatever Cyberpunk remastered edition or the complete version. Yeah, that ain't enough weed in there. Because Microsoft say fuck that. We trying to get this bread, man. Again, are y'all pulling that shit off y'all? Oh nah. We Microsoft say we still selling this fucking broke ass game. That's my shit too. Going right to the blue screen, yo. You got 2 beers left. I might risk it all. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Them fucking them blue screen crashes be blowing me though. It's like I can't like get right back into the game after that sometimes. Like I said, it's only like every few hours or something like that. So you're in there playing for like 2 hours, like deep into the shit now, and you focus, and then you're like in the middle of a mission or something. Boop boop, blue screen. I'm like, yo, man, turn this bitch off, yo. It's fucked my whole immersion up. Fuck the whole thing up, yo. Uber. I almost got it, guys. Yeah, the snow is still crazy out there, yo. I still probably have to shovel some of the backyard today. And that's yeah, well, they've already passed it how many times so far, and it's still not working. So, at the beginning of the year, in 3 or 4 weeks, are they gonna have another patch that fixes everything? I doubt it. Not the steak, egg, and cheese. That's what I say, man. I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed that bitch back and kept it on the shelf for another year, yo. Like they should have did to start with. Like they should have done to start with.
They're going to eventually tarnish their reputation, do something anti-consumer, and I just did not expect this. But regardless, Cyberpunk 2077 for a lot of players is just unplayable. That's why thousands are requesting refunds on PlayStation and Xbox right now, and these platforms are accommodating those refunds. And CD Projekt Red actually in their apology said that they're going to make this right and let people get the refunds if they don't want to give this game a chance long term, because fixes are coming. It just seems like the big significant ones are not going to be coming until January or February at the earliest of 2021. And what that means for story and free DLC, who knows? That's probably going to be delayed along with the multiplayer plans. But really, at this point, CD Projekt as a company is fighting for their lives. They've lost 40% of their stock value since December 4th. That is absolutely crazy and just shows how much was riding on the success of Cyberpunk 2077. They just could not afford for this to be a disastrous or bad release, and it's just been exactly that. This definitely was or is one of the most hot.
Not 40%
Stadia is a
though.
place where you can instantly stream the best games on the things you already own. And you'll never have to install, download, or update your games ever. It's that easy. Head to stadia.com right now and get started with your 3-month trial.
anticipated games of all time. And I'm not going to say if it is the most highly anticipated because people seem to have a wide array of opinions on that. People seem to think I was defending the game by saying I don't think it actually is, but I don't know where people are finding that conclusion because I think that everything surrounding Cyberpunk 2077 is just a disaster right now. There are design elements in this game that just doesn't make sense, and especially in terms of high expectations, it wasn't just like people were getting excited because of CDPR's work on The Witcher 3. This game was marketed as the next generation of open world gaming. Everywhere in marketing, it was like, this is going to be a massive experience, something that we haven't seen, but we have seen games like this. This game isn't doing much drastically different. And you could say that this is very similar in scope and
40. How you lost 40% of your stock, nigga? Yeah, they about to go under. Pack the tip of that Joan. Ooh, with some Keef. This nigga, that shit looks skimpy. I don't need smoke. Then how do you know? How do you know then, Puff? Huh? How can you even tell, Puff? Say. Huh? Just that fire flame. You need a little bit. Just a sprinkle. Just a dash. You don't gotta roll it like a hog leg like you used to do when you was in middle school. We don't smoke like that no more, man. You know what I'm saying? 40%. 40. Yo, dude is fucked up, yo. This one game is gonna crush their company, yo. Let me find out. Yeah, Puff, when the last time you puffed though? You know what I'm saying? Nigga smoke. He smoked regular cigars. He's like, yo, let me hit the blunt. You hit that shit like, yo, this is just tobacco. He like, yeah, I know. It's from Cuba. I'm old now. Man, shit has changed since you've been in the smoke game, bro. You know, we don't have to pick seeds out the weed no more. Our weed don't come with seeds. You know, they just grow it like that now. Amazing, bro. It's science. It's called botany and horticulture. Now they make my weed with no seeds, just like watermelons.
and certain elements to a lot that we saw with The Witcher 3, but there are more problems, obviously. And there are lessons that definitely just didn't translate. Like, driving AI is a mess. NPC AI overall is just a mess. The police wanted system doesn't make any sense. There's a lack of customization. And then there's lots of theories and people investigating and believing that there's quite a bit of cut content from this game because CDPR's management just wanted to get this game out immediately when it was not ready. Anyway, as we've seen, PlayStation, we talked about this in my last video a number of hours earlier, PlayStation removed Cyberpunk 2077 from their store, and my theory, there's no definitive answer on what actually happened. CDPR put out a statement saying that a decision was made. They didn't say it was their decision to remove it from the PlayStation Store. My sneaking suspicion still is that Sony has a very firm policy, which is once you download a game, you ain't getting your money back. But CD Projekt Red probably had some discussions with Sony, and the conclusion was made that, hey, if you want people to get refunds, you're going to have to agree that this game is faulty, and we're going to take it off the PlayStation Store. CDPR and PlayStation or Sony don't have that connection that CDPR has with Microsoft. And actually, Microsoft has decided to take a different route. And this is something I think a lot of people prefer, but either way, Xbox Support tweeted this out a little bit ago. Cyberpunk 2077, every player can get the experience they expect on Xbox. We will be expanding our existing refund policy to offer full refunds to anyone who purchased Cyberpunk 2077 digitally from the Microsoft Store until further notice. Well, we know the developers at CD Projekt Red have worked hard to ship Cyberpunk 2077 in extremely challenging circumstances. We also realize that some players have been unhappy with the current experience on older consoles. Well, yeah, because they lied to consumers saying that it ran surprisingly well, and it just didn't. Anyway, the statement continues. To date, we have granted refunds to the vast majority of customers who have requested one. To request an Xbox refund for Cyberpunk 2077, please follow the following steps. But yes, that is the Xbox route. They're doing it a little bit differently than what PlayStation is doing, which PlayStation is just completely delisting the game indefinitely. Who knows when the game will be back on the PlayStation Store? Could be early 2021, but according to a news report that's coming from Reuters, we actually do know that right now CD Projekt Red has not had talks with Microsoft about Cyberpunk 2077 being delisted, like has been the case on Play.
8 years and it still don't work, yo. 8 years and it don't work. And you can get some of these fucking computer geeks. They'll get on the fucking on a PC and they'll mod motherfucking Grand Theft Auto to look just like Cyberpunk. Watch. Somebody's gonna do that shit and then it's gonna run perfectly on a modded version of Grand Theft Auto. Watch. I'm gonna say it's still Ace. But you could smoke this if you try it, bro. This shit probably put you right to sleep. You hit this shit twice, you just go right to sleep, bro. You know what I'm saying? My tolerance is high as hell to your weed, bro. My weed so good that shit don't need no name. You be trying to tell people this shit, man. No name. Y'all want to put all these names and labels on this stuff and all that shit, man. That's just the hype. That's just the hype. Oh, I got some purple Urkel. I got some white Rhino. I got some lamb's breath. All this other shit, man. I got some orangutan octopus. Yo, that shit don't matter to me, bruh. My shit ain't got no name. All I smoke is weed. See, I'm a thinker. I know that's right. Shit. He said cabbage. See, you probably smoking that Babbage. You don't even got cabbage. You got that Babbage. That's that backwards cabbage. That backyard boogie. That outdoor. I smoke that indo. You smoke that outdoor. I got some pineapple train wreck. See, my shit ain't got no names like that. You know what I'm saying? That shit sound like the title of a movie. You know what I'm saying? Pineapple train wreck. Coming to theaters near you. My shit don't sound like that, man. My shit ain't got no name. Cabbage? Oh no. Drink with you. I might can go grab a drink. I go grab a little drink. Have a little sippy. I ain't got no more. I don't really drink beer. I drink hard ciders, but I ain't got no more cider. I drank my last Angry Orchard a couple days ago. But I stay with some tequila. Coming to lungs near you. This summer's gonna be fire. Pineapple train wreck. Check your local dispensary starting December 31st. Go fix me a little drink. Have me a little taste. Ew. Big buzz. You know that when that shit look like that, you don't gotta put no name on it, man. That shit just like, oh, that's some weed right there. Damn, that's that. What's that? I tell you, I wanna smoke that. What's it called? I don't give a fuck what it called. Look at that shit. I want some of this one. Where they grow that at? Afghanistan. Impressive. Shit look like little hamsters. Yeah, I'm saying shit look like hamsters in that, man. God damn. We look like it about to smoke me. Let me go get a drink real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Let's listen to some more of this bullshit about Cyberpunk, man.
CEO Adam Kaczynski saying in a statement, "We are not in such discussions with Microsoft at the moment," although that at the moment is kind of interesting. Also, quick update, as of recording this video, the official Cyberpunk 2077 social media accounts put out another statement on the yellow background, in which they pretty much just confirm that they are trying to make sure everybody gets refunds. They say that their intention is for every owner of a physical copy or digital copy who wants a refund will get it. And they say that they will be doing this out of their own pocket if necessary. That's the correct decision, and considering the circumstances of this just chaotic mess of a launch, this is the right move by CD Projekt Red, at least in this respect. With this whole mess, I really feel for the developers at CD Projekt Red, because a lot of them knew the problems, they were setting off the alarm, and nobody was listening in management, because as CD Projekt Red's executives admitted to investors earlier in the week, they just wanted to get this game out. They wanted to release it. That promise of coming when it's ready, I guess it didn't matter in this final stretch because of holiday shoppers. But Bloomberg's Jason Schreier has provided a new report insight on what's going on inside of CD Projekt Red right now, and it truly is everything that I kind of expected, because developers are absolutely pissed with management, and they express that directly to them. So Jason Schreier reports rebellion is in the air at Polish video game publisher CD Projekt after the company's highly anticipated and thrice delayed latest title was released to scathing reviews about glitches. Frustrated and angry staff fired questions at the board during an internal video meeting Thursday that opened with management apologizing for Cyberpunk 2077's disastrous launch, according to two people who were present. And might I add that I personally think that some of these executives just gotta go. Like, The Witcher 3's development, I think a lot of people forget this, but it was also a pretty big disaster. Like, CD Projekt Red lost a lot of key staff, and they didn't really change their ways much, and it's continued to get worse with Cyberpunk 2077. That's why I'm also especially concerned about them messing around with anything live service right now. But the developers have been screwed over, and also consumers, because they were lied to with what this experience was going to be, and it seems like a lot of the developers were like, yeah, expectations were way too high, and management, they knew it, but they didn't say anything, which is just astonishing. So yes, I think that some of these executives gotta go, but with developers, like, a lot of these people were expecting giant bonuses with a massive success for this game, and now a lot of them are going to be missing out. So I think I can understand why a lot of them are absolutely livid, especially since a lot of them have been putting in tons and tons of hours crunching on this game for years, and now it's probably, a lot of them just doesn't seem like it was worth it. I've seen some developers on social media really just expressing their sadness and depression over all of this, but either way, let's continue with this because there is more. Developers asked blunt questions about the company's reputation, the game's unrealistic deadlines, and the time in the months and years.
Rent or buy the New Mutants on YouTube.
Leading up to the game's December 10th release. The meeting took place before Sony's shocking announcement that it was pulling Cyberpunk 2077 from the PlayStation Store and will offer full refunds to any customer who requests one. During the staff meeting, CD Projekt's directors said they had come to an arrangement with Sony but did not offer specifics. And again, my sneaking suspicion is that Sony presented two options for CD Projekt Red. Nobody's getting refunds, or people are going to be getting refunds, but we're taking it off the PlayStation Store as you're admitting that this is a faulty experience, and that's what happened. Now it continues, it says in a Twitter...
That's the thing, though. Like, can you still? I gotta go play my game now and see, like, can you still play the game? If it comes down off the PlayStation Store, people who purchased the game, are you still able to like play your copy of the game that you purchased, even though it's not on the store anymore? Um, even if you have purchased a copy of the game and you're unsatisfied with it and you want a refund, how can Sony delete your digital copy from your save files? Like, so so if you ask for a refund, you still keep the game, or do you have to give back your you just pay for the license rights to use that shit? Do you are is there some way that they can like take that shit off your hardware if you do receive a refund for it? And then, like I said, if you yeah, but at the same time, it's like I don't know if it's a what if you like the game, you like the concept and idea of the game, but it's not working well enough for you. So you want a refund, and then what? You're gonna wait until it comes back out when they re-release it, and then buy it again, or I don't know. I'll just keep my copy. Like I said, I'm trying to think of a game that actually has a lot of bugs like this when it first came out. Like I don't know. I haven't played a game with this many issues that I still enjoy playing. Yeah, right after you click on, they have some kind of agreement disclaimer or something. If you click yes that you want your refund, then you will be blocked from using the license rights of this product or whatever. Skyrim, I don't know, dude, and maybe because I'm just such a Elder Scrolls fanboy that I just absolutely ignored all the bugs and glitches when Skyrim came out because my first playthrough of Skyrim, I just have the best memories of that game, yo. Once again, I took the day off work. 11/11/11 was the day Skyrim released. Never forget that shit, yo. Perfect date for some shit like that. 11/11/11. And I don't know. I absolutely enjoyed every minute of playing Skyrim. I've enjoyed fucking Cyberpunk. It's just that fucking that hard freeze. That's the main thing that gets me. Like I say, you're 2 hours into the game. You've been playing it. You're like mid mission. The music is pumping. Like you're like, I'm about to fucking beat this mission, and then blue screen. Like that shit kills me, bro. That shit kills it for me, yo. Other than that, like all the visual glitches, that shit don't bother me too much. I'm gonna have to go back and look at like some of the earlier footage from from Skyrim episodes then. Like how people and listen to people talk about how Skyrim was fucking broke because I don't remember that shit. Fallout 3 was pretty bad. I do remember that. But I still enjoy playing Fallout 3. Fallout 4 too. But that's the thing, like most games have some bugs in it, but like when has a game been pulled? Like who the fuck pulls games, yo? And this shit came out on the 10th. What's today's date? That's crazy, yo. It ain't even been out 10 days yet. And well, I know some people already got like 60, 70 hours on that bitch. But in 10 days, I'm well over 30 hours. I know I got like, I gotta check my time on that shit, but I probably got like 35, 36 hours on that shit in the past 9 days. But that's crazy. In 9 days, they're gonna pull that shit from the shelf because of all the complaints. Once again, after this was one of the most hyped games of the fucking year. PlayStation already took it off the store, yo.
I read it last night that they already took it off.
Huh?
I read it in an article last night.
Yeah, they took that shit off the PlayStation store, yo.
I thought it was fake. I thought it was one of them trolling ass people. Like,
Nope.
nah, y'all can't get it.
And they're offering refunds for people who want their money back.
Shit.
Okay, let her out. You just went outside. You just didn't.
Just let her out.
She pissed, but she didn't shit.
She's still not gonna shit.
No, I don't think she just want to be in here right now. Hey, calm down.
All the doors and everything's closed.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not gonna ask for a refund for that shit, yo. Like, I can play it for hours on end. Like, I think the most I've sat down and put like 4 hours in on that shit at a time. But I can play that shit for 2-3 hours with no problem, and still enjoy that shit. It's just the hard freezes that kill me, and that's it. So I'm not even gonna ask for a refund or none of that shit. I don't even want to go through all that shit. Makes it the greatest game ever just on controversy alone. That's a fact, bro. That is like in 10 days, like the most hyped game of the year becomes the most hated game of the year. So much so that Sony has to pull it from their digital stores. Like, what the fuck, yo? Like, who? Like I said, what game has been pulled down because it was so broken? I mean, Anthem was fucking retarded, but can you still buy Anthem? Is that even a thing? Can you still purchase that game? I remember like people absolutely hated that shit, and that was like super. And that's the only thing I say about Cyberpunk is they hyped it for years. You know, other games they get like a year of hype coming next year, or maybe like 2 years from now. Is this game? But Cyberpunk was like this like 4 years ago. Like, yo, we got this shit coming, son. Like, y'all hyped this bitch for so long. And now the PS5 is fine. And that's the thing. It's fine. It's okay. But it's not like, ah. Everybody said the PC version, like, if you really want to get, like, the best experience from that shit, you got to be on the PC, man. But, I don't know, man. I said I'll keep my copy. I'll probably play that bitch in a little while. I ain't think they was gonna do that shit though. And that's what I was saying too. Like, I love this shit, yo. I love it. I love the fucking game. I say I can't imagine the community being in such an outrage that they did that. I would have thought that enough people would have been okay with it and just, like CD Red keeps saying, like, just wait for the patches, wait for the patches. We're trying to fix it. We're trying to fix it. But oh well. And that's crazy too. Like, that's why somebody else said that for all the testers, like everybody who got that shit early were only people who got PC copies of that shit. They weren't giving out like console copies of it earlier because everybody was going to see the bugs in that shit. So they gave out the PC copies to like the popular streamers and uh game review companies that's their business. They gave them shit copies of it first, but everybody got PC copies. This is true. And like now they're saying maybe major chunks of the game were cut out, and I don't know, man. Oh, I definitely will, bro. Yeah. It seemed like you was on hiatus for a little while, man. I gotta come through, check your streams, man. You know I be on your drone shit all the time. Definitely holla at you, bro. Motherfucking Puff got me in here fucking drinking and shit. This shit gonna put me right back to sleep. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna have to paint for a little while though. I at least want to get this arm done because I was working on that shit this morning and ain't had enough time to finish it before I had to go to my physical therapy. I did a little video for physical therapy too, doing like just more strengthening exercises and balancing, trying to get my balance together where I can stand on the 1 foot more. So I'm actually standing on the foot that I had surgery, is the foot I'm standing on, and doing these motions with my good leg. It's building up the balance and strengthening some of like the smaller muscles around the ankle that we really don't think about that helps with uh, the foot being able to tilt side to side like that. So trying to wake all those muscles and tendons up from not, for weeks of not having a lot of stress on them. So he was like, shit, balance on that 1 foot, swing that leg around, and get that operated leg to start getting that muscle memory to come back in there. And I'm doing 10 pound like calf raises. Just put the 10 pound weight at the front of my knee and like fucking just pump that fucking calf and work the tendon. So just doing shit like that, yo. I just want to be able to stand on my tippy toes again, just like, ugh. That shit feels so crazy. But not every morning, but like every other morning or every 3 days, I try to really do a bunch of exercises with that shit. And my therapist, he just tells me week by week, like, that's the thing too. Like, I pay too much money for this shit, man. Like, my co-pays for going to physical therapy, man, that shit kind of expensive. And we just do like shit like that. Like, nigga, you can tell me that. Yo, it's COVID, man. Yo, let's do this shit over the video. You can show me that shit over the video. I don't gotta come to the facility to do that shit. And I can save my damn money. But my therapist, he cool ass young dude, yo. He been there fucking joking about some shit sometimes. Goddamn, no shit he tell me. I wish I had that nigga job, yo. You gotta know your shit to get the position, but once you get the position, like, we don't really do shit. He was like, yo, like that shit, like, stand on here, and he explains it to me, but it's just like, swing your leg. That's, he's like, put this weight on your knee and lift your foot up. That's all he just be telling me simple shit to do, but that's his whole fucking job. And then you gotta just track and keep record of, which exercises I'm doing and how many repetitions and shit. But I'm like, this nigga easy ass job. Damn, I wish I had this job as a physical therapist. You basically a doctor. You just sit up in this facility and tell motherfuckers like, so today what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start you out on the bicycle. We're gonna put the resistance up a little bit. We're gonna go 5 minutes, and that's it. That's all you like. Sit your ass on the bicycle, nigga. Pedal this shit. Remember last week? All right. Well, I'm gonna crank it up a little bit more. Do about 5 minutes. I'll be back in a minute. Let me ask some shit like that. You done? How your leg feel? It's good? All right, look. Got this little block. Sit down right here. Put your foot on the block. Raise your knee up. Do that 30 times. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you. Somebody said it. Like everybody put us in group chat. Yo, stop adding me to these group chats. I feel you, bro. Like 2 people put me in group chats, yo, and it's just on PlayStation. Like, who needs that? I hate when I'm in a group chat, like my aunt or my sister put us in group chat sometime on my job. Oh my god, when my job does that shit, it's like fuck. And then like on Facebook Messenger, like I'm a board member of an organization, and then last night we had a group chat and Messenger, and that shit was going on for a minute. I'm like, I'll check it in the morning. But yeah, the group chats. But PlayStation, who does that? Who starts a group chat on PlayStation and just put random? I'm gonna put everybody in my friends list on here. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't put me in your damn group chat. We ain't only talking to y'all like that. I am gonna ask them about that shit, man. Yo, can we zoom this shit, man? You know what I'm saying? Because I got shit at home. I got shit I can hold on to and keep my balance and stay stable. I got weights and stuff I can use at home. Do I really need to come to the facility and sit up in here for, 4 to 5 minutes? Yo, I have to think about that shit now. Yo, my copay $1 a minute. Like, man, I don't need.
You lucky. I said you lucky.
Fuck that.
Cause that should be more than that.
Yo, my old copay was $20. They doubled that shit, $40. Yo, that shit too much money coming out of my pocket every week, man. Every week, $40 a week for this shit for 40 minutes. And you telling me to do some calf raises sitting down with 4 pounds of weight on my knee? Man, you could have called me on the phone and told me that shit, man. Do this shit over video, man. You know what I'm saying? You cutting into my takeout money. You know what I'm saying? I want to go get some Chinese food, but I just had to pay $40 for you to tell me to swing my leg like this. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That too much. That too much money, bro. And then they was talking in the beginning. They was like, "Oh, we gonna bring you in twice a week." I'm like, "No, you not. I'm not about to pay y'all damn near $100 a week." They got their they gave me some stretchy bands. Tell me to put a band on my foot and do this. I'm not paying you $100 a week for that shit. Come on, man. They got the right one. But everything can be done through Zoom now. I might have to ask them about that shit. My job on my ass about my return date too, yo. Because before the surgery and everything, they already projected that I should be back to work by January the 11th. The holiday season is coming up. People got vacation time and holiday time and all this shit. So motherfuckers gonna be out of contact, for a week or so. And so my HR already called me. She was like, "Yo, talk to your doctor because your release date from what we predicted is coming up soon. We need to know if you're still going to meet this target of being able to come back to work. Are you able to be released at 100%, or will you be released and need to remain on light duty for a set amount of time?" And she's like, "Yo, I need to know this shit soon because it's only a few weeks before you come back." So today at physical therapy, I told my therapist that shit. I'm like, "Bro, you need to email the surgeon and tell her this, ABBB, or can we move our next visit up so I can talk to her in person?" Because, like I said, I was supposed to go back to work on the 11th, But she has me scheduled for our next visit 11 days after that on the 22nd or some shit. Or 10 days, like on the 21st or 22nd. I'm supposed to see her again. But it's like, I'm going to have to see you before that, shorty. And you're going to have to tell me something. You're going to have to write up some paper saying, yeah, he can go back to work on the 11th, or no, he can't go back to work. In which case, my HR said that's not a problem either. If I can't come back to work, they just need to know that shit. That's all. And it's like, now we'll transition you from short-term disability to long-term disability. Which is all just like some keystrokes and boop, 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 and now you're on long-term. So, but let me be productive for, not saying that conversations aren't productive, but let me wet these brushes for a little minute. And goddamn, all I'm gonna do is try to finish this arm up real quick. And it's not much. And then I might go play this broken ass Cyberpunk that's no longer on PlayStation Store. I feel bad for people who was thinking like, you know what, I'll probably buy that shit this weekend. No, you're not. But then at the same time, like the backlash from it is so bad that it probably has deterred a lot of people from buying it. I think most of the sales were pre-orders, but they said they had like 50 million pre-orders or 80 million pre-orders or some dumbass number. Like it was some stupid ass number of pre-orders, yo. In just not even 10 days. The criticism is so bad. It's so bad. They took it off the store. Like, how? In 10 days you drop that shit. Like, yo, we can't even sell this shit no more, yo. We're not gonna sell it anymore. If you brought it, we're sorry. You know, if you want your money back, just here's your code. We'll give you your money back.
Post on Friday, the company said that following our discussion with PlayStation, a decision was made to temporarily suspend digital distribution of the game. Then it continues. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the...
Okay, wait a minute. See, they said they're going to suspend digital distribution. So you probably can go buy a hard copy if you really want to. You can go get a hard copy. But then think about the people who bought the new digital only systems and you don't have a disc drive, so you can't go buy a hard copy. So if you have a digital only PS5 and you haven't bought Cyberpunk yet, you can't play that shit at all. Man.
Biggest games of the year and has been a financial success, selling more than 8 million pre-orders and notching sales records for PC games. And as a lot of you pointed out in my last video's comment sections, this is the evidence that all you need, that expectations were through the roof, and we can all admit that CD Projekt Red just did not deliver, and this has been one of the big messes in years. But players have found the game...
One of the main things graphically that I don't like, that I just noticed that shit is... And Grand Theft Auto is able to do it, like, and that game is old as fuck. But there's not a lot of people walking around this night city, walking around the streets. Yo, it's just like the city seems really empty, you know? And it's just like, I mean, does that take away from the story? It doesn't. Like, I'm so in love with this fucking story, yo. It's getting so good. And it's been like, I don't know, it's been non-stop the whole time. Like, the story has been good the whole time. And it's just like, okay, what happens now? What happens next? What happens next? But, you know, just driving around the city, and it's just like, yo, there are no people walking around the streets in this video game. And it just seems like it's weird because where the fuck is my picture? Like, if Grand Theft Auto can have, like, a nice amount of NPCs just walking around to make it feel real, to make it look realistic, like you're really driving around city streets. Like, why couldn't they do that shit? And that's like the only graphical thing that I see is just like, damn, the city just feels and looks vacant. Why can't I find this picture?
I thought it was over there.
Yo, guys, I can't find my
Oh,
fucking.
yeah, it's on the floor. Under the table.
And this from this angle, I cannot see
I knew
that
it was
shit.
over there. I saw
I'm
it.
like,
But
yo,
I
I
just couldn't put my
just
finger on it.
had that shit, yo. Here we go. I got the phone. It was under the table. I got 4 eyes. I still couldn't see that bitch.
Bugs, particularly on the last generation PlayStation 4 and Xbox One consoles, sending CD Projekt shares plummeting. And when I mean plummeting, this company is just falling apart right now, and I really am concerned.
And once again, that's some crazy shit, yo. This one project that y'all hyped up so much is about to destroy your company. Like you lost 40% of your shareholders.
Ooh, that's bad.
40 their stocks
That is drastic.
off of this one game. That company
That's
dropped.
why they shouldn't have hyped it so
Yo,
much.
40%.
Oh,
How you lost damn near half of your stockholders?
because then they gotta give all those refunds and everything out. So it's like,
Yo, and then the employees, they said that they had a bonus system based on how well the game did.
so the employees.
Yo, now the employees fucking mad because they're not gonna get bonuses. The shareholders are like, yo.
They should be happy some people quit. They don't gotta pay everybody now.
Yo, the shareholders are fucking mad. This shit is tanking. They're selling their stocks. They're like, you know what? We're done with this company. Hey, y'all can have this shit back. Who wants this shit? Y'all want to own this shit? Yo,
Somebody will just take it over and clean it up.
a bigger game developer gonna buy them out for like pennies on the dollar? Like, oh, y'all company's doing bad. Like you say, we'll buy you. You know what I'm saying? We'll give you
Take all
$13 million or some dumbass shit and just take that shit.
To even be able to keep it going, but we'll see what happens. I guess it really depends how much they can do in 2021 in terms of fixing it up and then delivering new content. And that continues. Bloomberg's report says, and leading fans and critics to describe Cyberpunk 2077 as unfinished. And that's exactly what it is. It is an unfinished, rushed release that needed another 5-6 months of development and overhauls of some of the systems which are just very, very serviceable and very dated. CD Projekt stock fell 12% in Warsaw Friday. I think it's like up to 22% now, punctuating a steady decline this month that has wiped out gains for the year. During Cyberpunk 2077's development, staff endured multiple periods of extensive overtime, including mandatory 6-day weeks to finish the game, Bloomberg has reported. When asked about this crunch time in the QA, the directors said that they had plans to improve production practices in the future, but did not.
Mandatory 6-day work weeks for the video game developers. All the artists and level designers and set designers and writers and editors for the voiceover tracks and all this. These motherfuckers they were mandated to work 6 days a week. Like, y'all ain't even making this shit fun right now, man. I got into video game development because I like video games, but y'all making this shit like real work. Like, I don't know. The developers are pissed. I can imagine like how the real internal, talk within the studio that nobody ever hear really. Like, I can imagine how that shit sound right now. All the blame and finger pointing is going on. I bet there's tons of finger pointing and all kind of shit going on right now.
Elaborate.
And this department did that. Well, that department did
pretty crazy. But one employee asked the board why it had said in January that the game was complete and
it's all about the board.
That was not true. So we're actually now seeing that CD Projekt Red has been lying about the state of Cyberpunk 2077 for a while now. But this continues, to which the board answered that it would take responsibility. Another developer asked whether CD Projekt's directors felt it was hypocritical to make a game about corporate exploitation while expecting that their employees work overtime. The response was vague and non-committal. Many industry observers have wondered why Cyberpunk 2077, which was first announced in 2012 and was delayed 3 times in 2020, still appears to be unfinished. It's called mismanagement. Several current and former staff who worked on Cyberpunk 2077 have all said the same thing. The game's deadlines set by the board of directors were always unrealistic. It was clear to many of the developers that they needed more time. And I think there's actually one thing that I mistakenly say a lot, that this game's been in development for 8 years. The game's been in pre-production from 2012 to 2016, but in actual full production only from 2016 mid-year to now here in 2020, so 4 to 5 years, which is still a considerable amount of time, probably more than most AAA development of games, but Cyberpunk 2077 was so highly anticipated that it really should have just came out when it was ready, like the promise that CD Projekt Red made from the get-go. And Gary Whitta, one of the writers on Star Wars Rogue One, actually came out with a tweet which I feel like sums up a lot of my thoughts. He says, "I feel terrible for the Cyberpunk devs, working their hearts out for a decade only to have ashes as the reward. This is uncorporate. Who knew the game wasn't shippable, but shipped it anyway? This will go down as one of the great unforced errors in video."
I don't know where your father is.
Yeah, that's crazy. And especially when the developers are like, bro, it's not ready. We need time. And they're like, fuck that. We need the money.
History,
It's the holiday season. Let's get it. You've been working on this shit since 2012. We're ready to go to market. It's not ready for market yet. We're going to market. And now they're pulling it from the market.
Wait, so what about the computer? The people who are playing it?
Well, it seems like what they said is you can't buy digital copies, and that's all. Like, so if they have like hard copies for the PC, you can probably still get that. But yeah. But they said that's the best way to play it is on the PC. It runs fine on the PC and on the next gen consoles. If you are lucky enough to have a PS5 or the newest Xbox, you can play it and it runs okay. But it's like on the hardware we have now, that shit don't work, right? Which is the hardware that most people still have because once again, computers are really expensive. I mean, PC gaming has been around forever. Most professional gamers play on computers, but for the average gamer, like we still use consoles. And so to actually have a gaming rig is kind of expensive. It's, you can get a console for $500, but to build a good PC or to buy a good gaming PC, you're gonna spend $1,100 or $1,500 for a good gaming PC. And then if you're not lucky enough to have been one of the people to get the next gen consoles, the new PlayStation and the new Xbox, then you're stuck with the old hardware, and that's almost everybody. And now everybody's complaining like, we have the old hardware, you said the game was going to work on here and it doesn't. It gives me issues constantly. I want my money back.
It's fair.
And that's like I say, you pushed it back. I was okay with that, and that's what everybody says. Keep that motherfucker in the studio until it's done.
Yeah, y'all been there, done that.
Keep it in there and hold it and work on that bitch. Y'all need, and that's the thing. Like, since 2016, like y'all shouldn't have announced that shit so early, neither, yo. I can't get over that part. Okay, it's a great idea. It's an awesome concept. I know you want the world to know about it, but yo, if it's gonna take you fucking 10 years, don't announce that shit. Until like 2 years before you're ready for it to go to market. I don't know. They seem it just like you said. That's all corporate. It's all on the corporate end. The writers, the artists, the coders and programmers, they ain't got no real say so of release dates and nothing on there. That's all the bigwigs at the company did that shit, yo. And now once again, like I said, that shit just so fucking crazy. In the video game world, at least, like this is some big news. Like who fucked up this bad?
And And to be honest, Cyberpunk 2077, if they just waited, like, I don't really understand the rush. Why rush this game out? Why not make sure it's perfection? Because they had to have expected or known that there's going to be uproar over the state of the game. Like, do they not look around at the rest of this industry? I keep on having to say this, but every single release, Marvel's Avengers, the latest one, do we just not pay attention to what the rest of this industry is doing? Do we not learn lessons? Like, I don't know why I have to keep on saying this. I said this with Bethesda with Fallout 76, and God help, I really hope that...
I was just about to say that because that was the last one I paid attention to. Was that Fallout 76 release, yo. Motherfucker, people hated that shit, yo. And they were not happy with that shit. And since then, I've heard like Bethesda has revamped a lot of issues that, you know, the community were complaining about. But Fallout 7, that Fallout Online, they talk mad shit about that shit, yo. Cash shit.
Learned that lesson with Starfield, but CD Projekt Red, what are you doing? Like, are you just not paying attention to the rest of this industry and the chaos that has transpired with so many releases, the AAA live service disasters? And yes, this isn't a live service, but it certainly is a disaster right now. What's frustrating about Cyberpunk 2077 is that I see the potential. There are flaws, there are issues. But if this game had extra development time, an extra year, I think a lot of these issues would have been resolved. But now this company is going to be rushing through 2021 to rebuild their reputation, and I don't know if they'll ever get that trust back, and they probably won't. There's always going to be a layer of skepticism, which is just so unfortunate. And really, just don't pre-order games, people. Please don't. Cyberpunk 2077 is just the golden example of an experience that, CD Projekt Red used their goodwill to get people to pre-order, and unfortunately, they did not deliver. And they also lied up until the launch by concealing that console footage and then misleading consumers by telling them, yeah, the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 run surprisingly well, when they knew for a fact that it didn't, but made sure that reviewers did not get access to console codes until launch. But even with saying Cyberpunk 2077 had potential, this also has to be factored into it, but it's the mismanagement. Like, there clearly has to be some change going on within that studio, because this cannot continue. And I don't know who's got to be, let go, but somebody has to. Some of the executives got to go, because I don't trust what this company will do moving forward. Of course, I'm excited for the future of Cyberpunk 2077 in terms of the narrative content that can be delivered, because they have some remarkable, talented story and writing teams at CDPR. The environmental artists do a phenomenal job, and the Quest team, I think, did a great job, but there's got to be some change.
That's that shit, yo. The writing and the quest, like, it's so fun, and the story is so good, yo. It's just like, what are the little dumbass issues, man? Like, it's such a good story. It's not their fucking fault.
Because it's clearly not working, and it did not work with Cyberpunk 2077, as that executive team failed consumers and failed the developers. But if there is one good thing that I can say about this whole situation, it's the fact that everybody's getting their refunds. So if the game is unplayable for you, you deserve to get your money back, and you are getting your money back. Fortunately, you won't have to go through the lawsuit process, which unfortunately some other AAA developers and publishers force consumers to go that route. And I think you guys have a good idea of who I'm actually referring to with that remark, but some of this damage with CD Projekt Red is going to last a long time. Like right now, their stock is taking a beating. As Market Insider reports, CD Projekt shares plunged as much as 22% to a 9-month low on Friday as the Polish game studio suffered fresh backlash to its release of a bug-ridden Cyberpunk 2077 last week. Sony announced on Friday that it was pulling the video game from its PlayStation Store and offering full refunds to players. Following a wave of complaints about the long-awaited title, the news erased the equivalent of $1.8 billion from CD Projekt's market capitalization. And I'm pretty sure the executives at CD Projekt Red have now lost around $2 billion in value of their stock, and just crazy the damage that they've suffered from poor decisions. But even furthermore, some of the lasting damage is going to be on Cyberpunk 2077, in which the OpenCritic review score has now plummeted down to 71% of critics recommending the experience. I believe at its height it was at 97 or 95, and then the top average critic score is now down to 81. Originally it was at around a 90-91. And then on Metacritic it's even worse, because the PlayStation 4 now has 19 critic reviews, and the average score is right there with Fallout 76 with a 55. Same score I believe for the Xbox One, and the reviews they're brutal. One of Poland's biggest gaming websites, Gry Online, said Cyberpunk 2077 on PS4 is a disaster that should have never ever occurred. I agree. They honestly should have just canceled the last gen versions if it was going to be this bad. The developers have butchered the technical condition of the game. The only positive thing about the PS4 version is that you can, with a bit of luck and patience, eventually finish it. There's no doubt CDPR will have to redeem itself somehow. But remember, somewhere underneath the utter myriad of bugs hides an excellent game, and they gave the game a 30 out of 100 for the PlayStation 4 review. Cultured Vultures gave the game a 60, saying a lack of focus, vague combat, and some truly befuddling performance issues hamper the still competent and often enjoyable detective sim that the best parts of Cyberpunk 2077 wants to be. The French gaming website GameBlog says, don't even think about playing Cyberpunk 2077 on base PS4, its performance is awful. Of course, no one can expect a game to run like it does on a good PC, where it is a stellar experience. What we feel is that this version was abandoned. No effort was put into it. Blurry, not very smooth, suffering from NPCs that just pop or have no faces for a couple of seconds. I've seen that. It also feels very empty, which obliterates its positive qualities. Not to mention the myriad of glitches and hiccups that are probably less evident on PS4 Pro or PS5, but which makes us say that you need a computer, or if everything goes well, wait for the next-gen versions if you want to have a real taste of Cyberpunk 2077. Gave the game a 40. And that seems to be the theme of a lot of these reviews for consoles. It's like, yeah, we actually think that this game's pretty good, but with all the issues and everything that's problematic with Cyberpunk 2077, yeah, this game's just do not recommend, do not play it on consoles. And it's just so unfortunate because I, again, feel like there's an alternate reality in which this game releases 6 months to a year from now, in which CDPR's management competently handles all of this, and they don't actually delay the game multiple times throughout the year. Like they start off 2020 and just say, no, we're going to delay the game a year until April 2021. And in that reality, I assume that Cyberpunk 2077 comes out. People still have complaints about some of the design issues with it, but for the most part, it's well received. But now we're living in this reality, which is the dark one of 2020, in which, no, the game's just a mess. It is a total disaster, and it's going to take years and lots of work for CD Projekt Red to improve and rebuild that reputation. And it may never be back to what it was now, because CD Projekt Red was the golden child of this industry, the one publisher that did not act like the rest of this industry, but now, well, they've just done that, and you could argue it's even worse. Anyway, Cyberpunk 2077, maybe it eventually will get that No Man's Sky treatment, or maybe a Realm Reborn. Who knows what 2021 in the future does entail, because as I've said before, there are parts of this game that I absolutely love, and I do see the potential, especially with Pan Am, my god. But Cyberpunk 2077, a lot of issues going on right now. Let me know your thoughts on everything that we did discuss today down in the comment section below, but thank you for watching. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy this video, or if you found any informative value, and make sure to follow my other social media accounts for updates on new videos. Links are always down in the description below. I'm most active on Twitter, giving opinions on news that I do not always get into video form, so do make sure to follow me over there. Also check out my Discord for all sorts of discussion on games, and again, thank you for joining. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you later.
With Stadia, you have what it takes to play the biggest games. We're talking can't miss AAA face melters in all their glory.
Yes! See this minute signal.
So you can fight like a
And the backlash continues. Yeah, CD Projekt Red may not be able to let this shit down. I finished my game. That shit I paid $60 for that bitch. Like that bitch till it's done. Fuck it. I say when I'm finished beating it, I might ask for my money back. But they probably got a time frame on that shit. If you want
I was about to say you better hurry up and play this shit.
If you want your refund, you have to, submit for it by such and such date. They already announced it and it's already off the store, so they you know about it. So you got until the next 2 days. If you want your money back, get that shit now. That's crazy. They pulled that shit from the store. All these motherfuckers done fell asleep on me. It's all good. It's all good. I just woke up. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.